Good afternoon. This is your 4 p.m. Friday weather update. We're talking about the winter storm that is set to strike the upper Midwest, including Minnesota, Wisconsin, Minneapolis, St. Paul, Rochester, Eau Claire, Wisconsin, the I-90 corridor of southern Minnesota, and the I-94 corridor of Minnesota and Wisconsin. A couple of things to take note. Number one, the storm system still has not come ashore the West Coast. And that's a big deal because we haven't been able to fully measure this storm like we would like. I expect that storm to come ashore this evening. So with the evening model runs, we'll have a much better idea of what to expect this weekend, by about 9 or 10 this evening. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Second of all, the timing of this storm is still up in the air. Gut feeling is that we are rushing this storm a little bit and expecting it to hit a little bit earlier than what's probably going to happen. With that being said, I would say the onslaught, or at least the heavier portion of the snows, will likely fall after midnight tomorrow night. So early Sunday morning into the late morning hours of Sunday before tapering off in the afternoon on Sunday. So those are a couple of things to keep in mind. Again, storm comes ashore this evening, and with those model runs this evening and overnight tonight, we'll have a much better idea of what to expect. And it could be a lot of snow. The reason being is that it's cold out. Not only is it cold at the surface here, but it's cold as we go up in the atmosphere. The cold temperatures are good for making snow, and that means that it could pile up pretty quickly because it's going to be a fluffy type of consistency, 20-to-1, 18-to-1 type of a snow-water ratio with this snow system that's coming in this weekend. Again, later Saturday night and definitely into the morning hours of Sunday. Here's the jet stream. We always take a look at the jet stream because it tells us what direction the storms are coming from, where a storm is going to develop. It's the steering winds up at 25 to 30,000 feet. And late Sunday, or at least Sunday afternoon and evening, you can see there's a trough with a strong jet stream nosing into the plain states. On the edge or on the nose of this jet stream and at the base of this trough is where storms like to develop. And that is exactly where Minnesota and Wisconsin is located on Sunday afternoon and evening. So no doubt we should have at least some sort of a piece of energy or disturbance coming through the region on Sunday morning and into the afternoon hours. Here, your 850 millibar temperatures from the NAM computer model. What we're looking at is where the potential rain snow line would be located with the storm system. And you can see on Sunday morning now, the rain snow line, which is 32-degree Fahrenheit isotherm, is located well south of Minnesota. So in theory, if everything plays out as planned, this should be an all-snow event over Minnesota and Wisconsin. And again, it could pile up pretty quickly with these colder temperatures up above us. The storm finally pulls out as we head into Sunday night. So the timing of this storm system would be basically from about midnight Saturday till about noon Sunday before the snow starts to taper some. This is the GFS computer model for snow and what it's predicting over the next 60 hours. So basically until about midnight Sunday, this is from now through midnight Sunday, you can see the GFS computer model is putting a swath of fairly heavy snow across much of southern and central Minnesota, snow in excess of 4 inches from the Brainerd area on south into northern Iowa. That would include the Twin Cities. Then, of course, that snow extends east and south into northern Illinois, much of Wisconsin and Michigan. Now, if we take a look at the NAM 4K computer model, this is more of a short-range, higher resolution model guidance, very good model to look at if you're trying to forecast within 24 to 48 hours of a storm system. This is the potential snow by 4 p.m. tomorrow, so 4 p.m. Saturday. You can see the NAM 4K is expecting snow to have fallen over eastern South Dakota and southwestern Minnesota. But here in the Minneapolis-St. Paul metro and Rochester and Eau Claire, western Wisconsin, not expecting any accumulation yet by 4 p.m. But as we go through time, tomorrow afternoon, here's by tomorrow evening now, this is by about 9 p.m. tomorrow evening, snow starting to accumulate in the Twin Cities metro and in Rochester, about an inch or two by that time, and then creeping into western Wisconsin. Here's midnight. You can see from midnight through 7 a.m., that's when we are expecting the onslaught of snow here in southern Minnesota and western Wisconsin. By tomorrow morning, over a half a foot of snow over much of southern Minnesota, along the I-90 corridor, and even stretching on north through the Twin Cities up north to near St. Cloud and Brainerd. Can expect a good 3-4 inches of snow by Sunday morning, and then it continues to snow at least a little bit through Sunday afternoon, and then finally by Sunday evening, which would be this frame, you can see majority of the snow now will have fallen, and it should have tapered off here in Minnesota. But by then, a good 4 to 6 inch snowfall over the Twin Cities, with some higher amounts, especially south of the Twin Cities along the I-90 corridor. And take a look at this bullseye near Madison, Wisconsin, and along the Wisconsin and Illinois border. The model guidance might be overdoing this a little bit, but still nearly a foot, maybe even in excess of a foot of snow down in that area. Yeah, the screaming message is that there will be an east to southeast pivot of this snow shield from west central Minnesota through southeastern Minnesota and then down into southern Wisconsin and northern Illinois, with the axis of heaviest snow stretching from about Mankato to Rochester through La Crosse, and then again into Madison, the Madison, Wisconsin area. So lots to talk about. This is a changing situation, one that will be changing quite a bit over time here. The computer models, again, will be latching onto this storm as it comes ashore this evening, and we should be waiting for that model guidance to come down the middle portions of this evening, probably about 9 or 10. Here's the latest 36-hour snow potential map from Novak Weather. This was created. I created this just a few hours ago, but I'm expecting a solid 4 to 6 inch snow in the Twin Cities on east to Eau Claire along the I-94 corridor, and then the 6 to 8 inch snowfall, the heavier snows along the I-90 corridor in southeastern and south central Minnesota, and then eastward into Wisconsin. And there could even be some higher amounts, especially as you get into southern Wisconsin. We'll be updating you more as we have time later this evening and certainly tomorrow. Bye-bye.